Hi, welcome to the Board of Health meeting for Monday, September 12th at 5 p.m. All board members are present. In keeping with an act relative to extending certain state of emergency accommodations, this meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board commission members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count towards quorum. The meeting will be broadcast live and recorded on ECAT. To use Zoom, you will need to use the link on the agenda or download the Zoom application at www.zoom.us and create an account or use one of the call numbers listed on your agenda. You'll need the webinar ID to join by phone only. While conducting meetings remotely, we will endeavor to keep meeting operations as close to our standard procedures as possible. However, use of this platform will necessitate some additional meeting protocols. Number one, while the board members or commissioners and applicants will be on video and audio, public participants will join the webinar as attendee, meaning they are muted and with no video feed from them. During the public testimony portion of the meeting, members of the public can be recognized by using the raise hand function found under the participants from Zoom, or make a request with the Q&A function. If you're joining only by phone, you can press *9 to raise your hand. If an applicant wishes to display materials, please make the request of the chair and email the materials to board staff for sharing on screen. When starting testimony, please state your name and address for the record. There is a markup function in Zoom which will allow you to call out specific areas of presentation materials. 4, as in public meeting, indecent behavior will not be tolerated, and anyone who abuses the use of the meeting platform will be terminated from the meeting. Number 5, business will be handled at the times indicated on the agenda. Business not conducted in the allotted time will be tabled to the end of the meeting to allow for timely logins and remote attendance. Board members are asked to announce themselves when making a motion and second, so that it will be clear to the audience and minute takers who made motions. All votes will be made by roll call. Number 7, when all business indicated on the agenda has been completed, the members will vote to adjourn the meeting, signaling the end of the meeting and the termination of the ECAT recording. All participants will be discontinued from the webinar at that time. Applicants will join the webinar as an attendee and promoted to panelist at their agenda items. Applicants will then be able to share their screens and present their materials. Individual board and chair staff may wish to keep sharing to the computer. Okay, and with that, we can go to our first variance, which is for Stonemore Drive.
And I'm assuming, is that George Collins, guys?
Strong point.
You're muted, Mark.
Eric Diaz, Strong Point Engineering.
Don't see him in the waiting room. I've got somebody named Stephanie raising her hand.
Maybe she is there. Stephanie does work for her, work for Strong Point.
All right, let's add Stephanie to the room then. Stephanie, you are added to, there you go.
Good evening. Yeah, Eric has another meeting tonight, so I get the early one. If I could share my map. Good evening. My name is Stephanie Hoban. I'm an engineer at Strong Point Engineering. We are requesting a variance for Stonemore Drive. They would like to put an addition on their existing house, which would be closer than the required 20 feet to the existing SAS. So our original request was when we believed that this was just going to be a slab foundation. We did revise it when we discovered there was going to be a crawl space. Because that would change the relief required from 10 feet to the requirement of 20 feet distance to the SAS. So really we're proposing to add an impervious barrier roughly 3 feet from the existing SAS, and which would be a total of 4 feet from the proposed foundation, which would give us a total of 7 feet separation from the proposed foundation to the SAS.
Okay, First question, in Title V, it says a minimum of 5 feet from the SES for the impervious barrier. Is that something you could amend and do?
We can,
We've also,
um,
hold on, we've also seen other applications where they wrap the foundation with the poly barrier instead.
okay.
So-
We can do that. I mean, it recommends 5 feet in Title V. It doesn't require.
I believe it recommends 10 and asks for 5.
Oh, all right. Eric was wrong then. Which is fine. Yep. No, we can move it to 5 feet or wrap the foundation. It's
Okay. Another question, what is the addition being used for? Do you
I've
know
been
that?
told it's going to be like a living room den area.
Okay. All right, that's all I just I wanted to nip something in the bud. If this is a good size addition, if it was going to be an in-law or anything, then you need a 2-compartment tank and other issues. And I wanted to, bring that to your
Yes.
attention. But if it's
We-
just going to be a living room, that's not an issue.
Yeah, that was one of the first things we asked because
Okay. I have no other questions.
So
My
if we,
question, I do have a question. So your notification to your abutters, was it before or after the foundation change?
it was after. I don't have the date in front of me. I know we actually have all the green cards back, but it was sent out after we submitted the revised letter and plan with the updated numbers.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
do we need proof of that the abutters were notified, Kristen, or are we all set with that?
It should be uploaded to the permit.
Okay. And if we were to accept this variance, we would have to reword it because we're asking for 5.
No, the distance from the foundation to the field would be the same.
Mhm.
I would ask for a revision showing the poly barrier either 5 feet from the SAS or wrapped around the foundation. So
But to Lynn's point, that
Okay.
as printed on the numbers don't align with what are, what was printed on the agenda or in the request.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't maybe speak that more clearly.
The agenda, and I'm assuming it was cut and pasted from the letter, was to reduce the setbacks for the proposed foundation to the existing SAS from 20 feet to 5 feet, when in actuality it should be 7 feet. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Any board members with any questions or concerns?
So then will this need to be continued until this is updated, or can we approve this variance and just base it on the 7 feet?
I think you can base it on the 7 because what we're granting is actually a further separation, not a closer separation.
Okay. Then I'll make a motion to approve the variances for 4 Stonemore Drive to reduce the minimum setback from the proposed foundation to the existing SAS from 20 feet to 7 feet.
Second,
All those in favor, Zayas, yes?
Mills, yes.
LeBlanc, yes.
And then do I also need to do the variance approval for the leaching field?
That is what the SAS is. So
Okay, so we just have, so this A and B is not what we're talking
Yep.
about? Okay. Great,
all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, so our next one is Sunset. Is that George?
yes, it is.
Is George here?
I'm
Yeah.
just voting him.
Okay.
Good evening.
Hi, George.
Would you like me to proceed?
Please.
For the record, George Collins from Collins Civil Engineering Group, representing Matt and Claire Gardner of 14 Sunset Drive. We're requesting two variances from Title V, a setback reduction from 20 feet to 11 feet from the leaching field to a proposed foundation, and then a setback reduction from 10 feet to 3 feet for the septic tank, also to the same proposed foundation. It's the proposed additions and extension to their bedroom. They're making the bedroom larger, so there is no increase in bedrooms. I do have the schematic that I submitted. I can share if you'd like. Let's see, here we go. And then also we did notify the abutters, the notification and proof of abutter notifications. I have those readily available if anybody wants to see them, but they've also been posted on Permitize. So basically this system is installed, if you look at this note here, in 2013, the design was done by another engineer, but the plans are on file. There's a solid as-built on file. I did go out and I did verify the component locations. So basically this is the existing house here. The hatched portion, that's the existing house. There's a pipe coming out here, a pipe coming out here, going to a septic tank, to an existing leaching field. So basically what they want to do is they want to come out 10 feet, the width of the back of the house, which is 18 feet, and replace the bulkhead that's already, remove that bulkhead and add the bulkhead. And basically the way the math works out, we have 3 feet at this location between the tank and the foundation, where the requirement is 10 feet, triggering one of the variances. And then at this location, you have 11 feet between the proposed bulkhead and the leaching field, and that dimension is supposed to be 20 feet, which is the other variance. We are proposing an impervious barrier that runs along the face of the foundation itself. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions anybody may have.
I don't have any questions except for our health agents. Everything looks good on your end?
Yeah, this is like the last one we were just talking about, wrapping around the foundation, and because that's what will be excavated when they pour the foundation. It's kind of easy to do that. So we've seen this done before, so I don't have any issues with it.
Board members, any questions or concerns?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance for 14 Sunset Drive, which is a variance from the state sanitary code, which requires a minimum 10-foot setback from a foundation wall to a septic tank. Local upgrade approval allowing a reduction from 10 feet to a minimum of 3 feet requested.
Second.
All those in favor, Zayas, yes.
Mills, yes.
The bank, yes. Thank you, George.
And actually, I think there's two of them.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh,
Get back to that screen.
I will make a motion to approve the variance for Sunset Drive. A variance from the state sanitary code, which requires a minimum 20-foot setback from a foundation wall to a SAS. Local upgrade approval allowing a reduction from 20 feet to a minimum of 11 feet with the liner provided.
Second.
All those in favor, Zayas, yes.
Mills, yes.
LeBlanc, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, George.
Thanks,
Have a good
George.
evening. Thanks for everything. Thanks for your help, Mark.
Yeah, no problem.
Next on our agenda, we have a COVID-19 update.
Yep, so we continue to see COVID, and actually surprisingly, the numbers seem to really have been extremely consistent over the past 10 weeks or so. Back in July, we were at 46 cases per week after in June having dipped down and actually had a 0. As we know, it's there. So we've gone from 46, we've gone to 43, we've gone to 57. The last 2 weeks have been closer to 32, 35. Our percent positivity, when you look at these numbers, looks high, but that's a function of the fact that most people that are finding out they're positive are testing at home. And these are people that actually end up in the hospital or in a reportable scenario like a long-term care facility or whatnot. So COVID continues to be there. We continue to work on our messaging. We're putting together kind of a push for the fall now that will have information on the new updated booster, that will also have information on how to obtain test kits. We're going to be doing some public outreach, getting some of the test kits that we've been given by the state out into the community, and letting people know, educating people too on the expiration date issue, that the expiration date on the box is likely not an actual expiration date, as these were brand new products when they were introduced to the market. So they continually are testing them and extending the use by date. We are actually moving our own stickering program over into QR codes, which I just learned how to do and I'm very excited about. So we're working with the schools in the next couple of weeks too, to help them get that messaging out with some of the kits that they already have. We also are trying to help the schools get some more of the smaller pediatric masks through an allocation that the Department of Labor Standards announced last week. We are looking at whether or not it makes sense for us to do some booster clinics on a small scale. The minimum order and the only product available right now is the Pfizer. So there are some logistics that need to be worked out. Although there is a community that is close to us that has started conversations since they got the minimum order, which is 300 doses, and they likely will not have a need for that, that we may be able to test the need in our community by utilizing some of the supply that they were given. We're also looking at purchasing flu shots and getting back into that area as well. I think that might be all I have, other than, we're hopeful that that DPH will be giving us some tools, some, new infographics and things like that to use as we go into the fall, that help clarify and help present the criteria for these newer extra boosters, and who's eligible and when people are eligible to take those shots.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Kristen.
Yep.
The Ebola virus, tick-borne and mosquito-borne illness. What's new on that?
As the weekly report last week, there was no new EEE or West Nile virus in Easton. That's all I have to report. I'm sure, Kristen, do you have anything else?
No, we continue to watch. They're continuing to test, and as they will right up until our first hard frost. I think that in all likelihood, the drought has blessed us with a low mosquito year.
That would be good.
Mm-hmm.
And next on the agenda, meeting format, remotely, in person, or hybrid.
So as you may have read, in popular media or wherever, there has been another extension granted. And we just thought it was prudent to discuss with the board if you wanted to continue this format, which is perfectly acceptable, or whether you wanted to move to in-person meetings. There is, since you do have dedicated staff and you are an elected board, there is the ability for us to do something called the hybrid. It's not logistically easy. I have not, even put my toe in the water as to how we would do that. I conducted an interview using it, and it was not super user friendly on either end. But it is something that is available. So this is an agenda item that gives the board an opportunity to discuss whether or not this format is the format you'd like to stick with, whether you would like to come back in person. So
What is the hybrid exactly? Like, I don't think I'm understanding what that would look like.
So it's a technology, it's actually a piece of equipment that is equipped with a rotating camera. So two or three of us could be in a room and two other people could be at home, and the screen share would reflect those of us in the room and those that are dialed in or added in as panelists from remote locations. We only do have one, so I don't even know if it would be available. Like I said, I used it we as a hiring committee used it with a candidate, and there was a lag in the speech, which did make it a little bit cumbersome. And we can come back to it if I can get more information if it's something you definitely are interested in. But as previous memos have said, it's not a super easy thing. It does involve a piece of equipment. And we can change at any time. And you can, continue to use this format. You can go in person and then go remote if we need to.
Aria and Chris, do you have any strong feelings either way?
I definitely don't have strong feelings. I prefer remote. I think, as I've mentioned before, I think it allows for greater participation from the community. And honestly, logistically, if I'm stuck at work, I can probably jump on my computer as opposed to driving half an hour. I wouldn't make it. But obviously that's a very personal problem, and so remote's my preference, but I do not feel strongly about it.
Chris, any strong feelings either way?
I don't have strong feelings either way. I originally did, but no, I would rather be in person, but I don't feel passionate about it. I just think that whatever other boards that are elected like ours, we should follow suit. So the select board meets in person. I think it's a good look that we should, or I don't know what other boards, but again, I could flip a coin. I'm just thinking about the lens on it,
I have to say, I think I agree with both of you. Like tonight, I'm in isolation still. I wouldn't be here. So there is that benefit. What are the other boards doing, Kristen? I'm not aware of what other boards are doing.
So the select board is meeting in person. They have been doing that now for a couple of months. I don't want to speak out of school, so I'm actually going to cheat and go to some of the posted agendas. So Conservation Commission is still remote. One second. The Recreation Commission will be having this discussion tomorrow night. And I don't know which way they would go. Again, to Chris's point, they're appointed versus you being elected.
Maybe
Council on Aging will be having the discussion on Thursday. The Affordable Housing Trust, they are still meeting by Zoom. Again, they're appointed.
Would the board think that maybe keeping this as a discussion point on our monthly meetings would be a good way to proceed?
And if the hybrid is something you are interested in, I can gather more information on. My desk doesn't allow for me to proactively go find that information if it was something none of you were interested in.
I'll,
So-
oh, go ahead, Daria.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna make a motion to table this till November with the caveat that we research a hybrid model that gives, a couple of months to do that, and then revisit it in November and go from there. Again, I feel like the elected board should all do the same thing. But
So the hybrid thing isn't like, sometimes we'd be at town hall and then other times we'd be home. It'd be like some people are at town hall and then some people are on Zoom. Is that sort of?
Yep. So we would set up in the room, we would post and have to reserve a meeting space here or, in another town building, excuse me. We would have this piece of equipment that sits in the room. And if a homeowner or a neighbor came in, it would allow, I don't know if we control the pan on it or if it pans on its own. It would pan to allow a person in the room to be visible in this format. And then it would allow for individuals who are home to be able to do exactly what we're doing now. There would just be, so right now, if we were doing this hybrid, potentially me, Mark, and Chris and Tim would be sitting in the conference room, and each time each one of us spoke, this technology would move. I'm not sure if we control it or not. Again, I've used it once and I wasn't the person running it. It would pan and allow for public participation at the meeting site, but also would still allow public participation and board presence through Zoom. It's not an easy lift,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, we could get there if we needed to. I don't know that, and I'll find out if anybody else is using it and how successful they've been at it.
I mean, I'm not sure the hybrid thing sounds like it's abundantly effective for having meetings. So I'm not sure if that would be in our best interest, but
Is it cost prohibitive?
I will find out more.
Yeah, you just a little more info. It doesn't sound ideal either.
just table it till November and we can discuss it again. Maybe you can pay attention to what some of the other elected boards are doing. The hybrid thing kind of sounds like you're half pregnant, it doesn't.
agreed.
We're either in person or not. So that's just the way it is. So,
I think
by
it was-
November, we should be able to have a good read on what the other elected boards are doing. And
Take it from there. I
yeah,
agree.
I
agree. I agree.
from a public access standpoint or whatever like that, if one elected board's doing X, everybody should.
I think the hybrid, I agree we should do exactly what you said. I think the hybrid, so if like somebody couldn't come that night, you know what I mean? They could still participate while the people that could come did come. I think that was the premise. I could be wrong. But I say.
What did we do before COVID? You went to a meeting.
Came
We
sick.
went to a meeting, and if we didn't have a quorum, we didn't meet. Everything was postponed.
So
But it sounds like hybrid too. Would it be something like last minute, oh my goodness, I'm stuck at work. Can we do this
Right.
hybrid? That doesn't work either, right?
No, it would have to be, my understanding would be that if we posted it as hybrid, it's hybrid. And we could all be there. It's just then we would still need to open up a Zoom and allow the public to participate that way, on the off chance that, yes, if one of you couldn't make it, but you were near a computer, you could log in and we'd have quorum.
Okay, let's find a little bit more about it and let's table it till next month and see what the other boards are doing. Thank you. And then next we have the betterment. Is everybody okay with that? Do we have to
Yeah,
vote on?
perfect.
Okay, and then the last is a betterment application for 274 Washington Street.
Tim, we cannot hear you.
You couldn't hear me?
I can hear you. I can't hear
Oh.
Tim.
I can't hear Tim.
So do you want to just walk down and hand one of us the folder or jump in?
I guess there's a benefit to in-person meetings right there.
I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, so we have a family. The address is posted on your agenda, 274 Washington Street. They are looking for the maximum to be set aside for them. Right now, their cost estimates are a little under the maximum of 45,000, but as you know, we like to give people a little bit of a cushion. They are up to date on all their bills.
Yes.
Yep, they're up.
Just issued that permit today.
Yep, and their permit was issued today, so they're anxious to begin construction.
Make a motion to accept the betterment for 274 Wash.
Seconded.
No worries.
All those in favor?
Zayas, yes.
Mills, yes.
LeBlanc, yes. And then we have to accept the minutes from July 11th still.
I will make a motion to accept the minutes from July 11th, 2022.
Second,
All those in favor?
Zayas, yes.
Mills, yes.
LeBlanc, yes. Any staff notes or anything else? I know that the town of Easton put out that notification about the water. The Mansfield water does not affect Easton. I know some Easton residents got some notifications that their water might be affected, but that's not the case.
To my knowledge, no. Other than that, we just continue to keep plugging away. Everything is busy. Our permitting's up, our perk tests are going on, and we just keep plugging along. We've got new staff. We do have our new administrative assistant on board. Jen seems to be getting the hang of things, and really, you know, we're hopeful, and it looks pretty promising, the work that she's doing for us. She did, I know I've identified Lynn, there was a typo in her email, so if you, Aria and Chris, if you did not receive the packet, could you let us know? Because there was a typo in Lynn's email.
I got the packet, but I
Yeah, I
didn't
did.
notice a typo, but
Nope, if it went through, it went through.
Great.
oh, a typo in the email address. I thought you meant a typo in the packet. All right.
Nope, if you got it, you're good. Mark
Okay.
or Tim, do you have anything you want? Well, Tim, you'd have to come back here if you wanted to add anything. Mark, do you have anything you want to
Well,
add?
I can just add that the grant money food inspector has started doing food inspections. Tim is, I brought him out on a couple, one truck inspection and a pre-opening restaurant inspection. Tim took him out 2 Thursdays, gave him like a training day one Thursday, and the next one had him work the tablet. I have a meeting with the grant tomorrow at 11, and we're trying to get him his own tablet that works with our program system, so he doesn't have to do anything, you know, so it can work with us. So that's the update on that.
Okay. If there's nothing else, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 5:35 p.m.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Zayas, yes.
Mills, yes.
LeBlanc, yes. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Next
Have a good
month.
night.